Mahdi can appear any time now. The Turks are preparing for war, and what we are going to be seeing is something spectacular. United States, their knees are shaking as Russia is trying to get involved in this. We'll be talking about the coming of the Mahdi, how he can appear, and why we say that it is the time for those end of time events to take place. Now let's take a look at this report from this individual. He actually worked in the US military. He's a veteran. He also has some experience with the Israeli forces. So I'm going to be actually playing his remark about the war situation, what is happening, and then I will get back to you with more explanation, because I think we do need some good understanding about the whole situation as to why I'm saying that the Mahdi will appear anytime soon. But let me share with you this hadith first, because I'm just going to Google here to find that video for you. Why we want to share this hadith, first of all, is because this hadith that I want to share with you is directly related with what is happening at the moment. And let me explain. So Rasulullah, he was sitting with the Sahaba. Okay, this is what was happening. So he was sitting with the Sahaba, and then he was talking about the end of time, alamat, the events, and the Malhama that will take place. And at one point he make mention of a place that
the Turks are the open question right now.
We know Sahaba, they had no or very little idea about, because at that time Turkey, this place did not have so many Muslims like the way it has right now. So this is the video I want to play first, but let me finish the hadith first. So basically the hadith talks about a place which we call Turkey today, and Rasulullah he mentioned that سمعتم بمدينة جانب منها في البر وجانب منها في البحر. He basically described a place, a city that has half of it on land and half of it underwater. And of course now we know from the hadith that it is talking about none other than Turkey itself. But before I tell you the possibility and why we say what we say about the coming of the Mahdi, I want you to take a listen at this individual. I believe he is like a very big shot in the US military. He has a lot of experience, and I watched this video and I was very, very surprised what I was hearing.
The Turks are the open question right now. We know that they are preparing for the contingency of fighting against Israel and us, that we're breeding hatred for the United States, that talked about Turkish forces resisting the US military in Iraq. This is fertile ground for serious trouble with the Turks. And the Turks are unlike anybody else in the region. Once they commit, if they go to war, they're all in until the bottom is reached in the fight. They will fight like hell. It will not end easily. It won't end quickly, and it may not end at all. It may drag on for a long time. So
I've heard him saying that Turkey will fight like hell. I mean, obviously, hell is not a word that we use as Muslim, but he's trying to depict the picture for all of us here, try to give us this impression that if in case Turkey gets involved in this war with Israel, then it is going to be a huge catastrophe. And the reason for that is because Turkey is not like Saudi Arabia or other Middle Eastern countries where they're really not that interested in the affairs of the Israeli and the Palestinian, what is happening there. So this army general, this veteran, he's issuing this warning, he's giving this warning to all of us: do not mess with Turkey. If you want to mess with China, go for it. I mean, obviously there will be a world war then if they go and fight with China or Russia, but his point was very, very clear. Do not mess with Turkey, because they will fight to the very end of it. And it could mean, even though we know that Turkey doesn't really have as much resources as US and Israel, but once they are in, you better ready to fight or to have a fight with Turkey for a very long time. Now, he went on to describe and explain more about the situation.
How do you keep the Turks out, especially when, we shot down one of their drones recently? The Turks would like us out of northern Syria. We've insisted on staying there. We have 1,000 men up there. I would like to see them, extricated as opposed to being sacrificed pointlessly. And then, of course, you have the Turks at sea. And then we have to add in the Russian variable, because the Russians have told the Turks, the Egyptians, and others who are interested in delivering humanitarian aid to Gaza across the beach, that they will escort their vessels.
They will escort their vessels, and also Turkey is already in the Mediterranean. Turkey has ships stationed in those ocean, this water, international water, and so they are, in other words, they're ready. The Turkish ship, their navy force strength has increased in the past decades under the leadership of Erdogan. They are now a regional superpower. And on top of all of this, the most important thing about this nation, Turk, is that they are very, very vicious. Once they are in, I mean, we have watched the show Ertugrul, right, or Ertugrul, something like that, and we have seen them how they brave the enemies and the fight against them to liberate their territories. So this is, I mean, that was a show, but in reality, they are like that. Turkish people, they have this history of courage. And this is why perhaps we are hearing this kind of hadith. The hadith that I quoted from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he said that this is the land where half of it on land, half of it underwater, he also mentioned that 70,000 from the people of Bani Ishaq will liberate the city of Istanbul. Now, what I understand is that the hadith that talks about 70,000 children of Banu Ishaq, these 70,000 people are perhaps from the Turk ethnicity. We do not know because the hadith doesn't say. But by looking at the courage of the Turkish people, I think I'm convinced that these 70,000 people from Banu Ishaq, some of them at least will be from the Turks. And they will, when they will liberate or open up the city, they're not going to open it with the arrow or with a sword. Rasulullah said they will say La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. That's it. That's what they will say. That's about it. And the city will be liberated. It means that they have this presence that is terrifying to the enemy. And this is exactly what we are saying today. Wallahi, like this is a miracle of the hadith, that the US is so scared of Turkish, especially the Turks, not the Turkish military force, but the Turk, the original Turk, that the US would do anything to avoid any escalation and have Turkey drag into this war. So Israel, you better be prepared for this kind of escalation. And if you do face Turkey, you better be ready to be defeated.
So now you have a potential confrontation rearing its head with the Russians. And the Russians, of course, are not going to sit there quietly if Iran is suddenly attacked. One of the most dangerous things that I've heard recently from the Hill is people are saying, well, now's the time to do in Iran. You know, this is insane. And again, we don't understand.
We're going to look at things from the tactical perspective. We had this from the Secretary or the Minister of Defense yesterday. You know,
but we are obviously not going to be talking about this leader of Israel, Secretary of Defense. But let's take a listen what he has to say about this guy.
The reason I wanted to pick that clip up is not just to show what he said, but actually, if you go back and watch that clip, or you've probably already seen it, was that it showed him going and talking to his troops and telling them, hey, right now you're seeing Gaza from this side of the fence, but very soon the order will be given, you're going to be from the other side of the fence. And one of the reasons why I wanted Doug on today is because in my own experience in Desert Storm, just before we launched that big offensive into Iraq, that big armored offensive, Doug came and did that very same thing to us, to all the troops. He went around to everybody and he came and told them what was going on and what the plan was, so everybody knew from the top down.
Yeah, obviously this person, as he's saying, that this Secretary of Defense of Israel, he does have some, a lot of experience about this war. But nevertheless, right now the news is that we are about to witness some spectacular fireworks. Hopefully not, but the way things are heading, we might. And if Turkey again gets dragged into this war, then we will see some real problem in the Middle East. And Israel should understand that they should not mess up with this nation of Turkey. They should not actually mess up with any Muslim for that matter. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.